What up, young kings and queens out there? You are in your 20s or even in your teens, and this is your golden time. But then, are you adding value to yourself? My name is Ghana Boy, and we are welcome to the Young Guys We Are podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, like, share this video, and leave a comment. Today, I'm doing with this man over here, and we are here to talk about adding value to yourself. This is a golden season. The Gen Zs and everybody is out there doing something for themselves. But the real question is, what value are you adding to yourself? Because at the end of the day, you have to get a reward. So we're going to move straight into our conversation for today and get to know how we can add value to ourselves as young people, young kings and queens out there. You're growing up as an individual. See, you have the ambition, the vision and everything to do something for yourself in any area of life. And the world of sports, politics, and everything. I know there's one important thing that we should all consider, like adding value to this, because in any field you go, every successful person you find there, the first thing they do is by adding value to it. And I'm aware you all discuss this. So I want us to delve deep into adding value to yourself. How important is it for you as a young person growing up?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so starting, I think when we speak about adding value to oneself, it goes to the extent of at least putting in certain things that others don't put into. Yes, because for example, there are a lot of people that are into braiding of hair right now, but because of certain brands that they have, importantly, some have certain logos that are very nice. It is part of their personal branding. Some also have certain handles, like social media handles. It is also part of the branding. All these are able to take you to an extent that people can never go. So I think this is one of the things you have to consider as well.
Okay, so when we come to building oneself, I think you have to develop a growth mindset. Yeah, that boils down to seeing challenges as opportunity and learn from it. You know, a lot of youths, as growing up, when we face certain challenges, we think that this one day we can't overcome it. You understand? And I think we should learn from it, because when you see certain things that push you, when you are able to face that challenges, that's where you see your potential. So I think we should say, yeah.
So I always use this Magdan Youth Summit, which happened, let's say, a month ago at the KNOC as an example. We had young entrepreneurs coming on board, especially business ideas for investors who are around. And one thing I noticed was the fact that most of them didn't have that, haven't added value to themselves to even add that to their business, to make their business to the level where investors will even come on board to support them. So for me, I feel like adding value to yourself should be something that has to be taught in school. Unfortunately, it's not part of our
Course something.
yes, the criteria or the study curriculum. But if we could invite or inculcate into our system now for young people, for Ghanaians, because you want to see ourselves as those big people out there, I think the value that we have for us. So let's look at the practical tips on adding value to ourselves.
Yeah, so I think we should embrace feedback and grow from it. You know,
Okay.
as you said, unfortunately, like when they come to our country, the continent Africa, you know, we don't get that opportunity to, teach that in school. Yeah, so when we are trying to do something and maybe we get feedback from our friends, and definitely when we are doing something and you don't get any feedback, you are not doing the right thing.
No, but the society we are coming from also is the fact that because once you set your mind to do something, if you just try to bring you there, see that and I say, and you see it's in such a way that when you're we are compared.
Yeah, really has value.
So,
Yeah, that's a good.
do you know something? In Ghana, for instance, right? Before you can do very well, you need to go blind.
Yes.
Seriously, yes, because
Yeah.
we've come to understand that those that have made it outside Ghana, those that are in Europe, those that are in America. Most of them, you know something, in Ghana here, we have this kind of parental control much more than those outside Ghana, especially in Europe. Because when somebody is 18 years in Europe, that person is of his own self.
Yeah, sure.
He can do anything he wants to do. But when you're in Ghana and you take any decision,
Maybe it's a crap.
oh, Charlie.
And I think it's their system.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
like, by 18 years, some people can develop a skill that you would even think of how they could even get to know that.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I know of a certain guy, he's about 16 years and he's into this stock trading. 16 years old boy, making $10,000 every month.
Wow.
When this amount is converted now
To get a city.
it's about 130,000 Ghana
Yeah,
cedis
sure.
in cities.
Mm.
Exactly.
Man.
16 years. But if you are to make 100,000 in Ghana,
Mhm.
you work as well with this schedule.
Blood money. Yeah, I remember like so some other time I was driving my uncle's car. I was at Antwerp, so I went to this restaurant to buy food. I was alone, and when I got out from the car, I heard some boys saying, "This one day blood money." You understand? It's not even my car; it's my uncle's car, but because of the type of car and me as a young guy, that's was the bad for me. Blood money, you know. It's like,
Okay, so one thing we have to be very conscious about is the perception people have when it comes to making wealth, when it comes to being wealthy, when it comes to being rich. Because in Africa, we've gotten to know that there should be a certain standard that
The system.
yeah, the system, yeah,
exactly. Yes.
Wait, this is a very super true. Okay,
Even a little self.
Charlie. Yes.
You have been given that chance to explore. At a very young age, they can try to do this, do that to just see what they are good at.
Right, sure.
As well as moving into it. So it's not on an right, but system we have here just boxes.
Yes. It's very true. It's very true. In Ghana, before one can find him or her purpose, you would be around 25 years, getting up to 30. But outside Ghana, people get to know what they are supposed to do right at the age of 15.
yeah,
I bet you understand what I'm trying to talk about. Yes. And one thing about business that I've come to realize is this. It takes quite some time for you to establish yourself. So there are a lot of people in Ghana when they start business at the age of 25 or 30 years, because of the pressure, because of the downfalls, because of what they are going to face, they normally don't stay into it, right? I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. Yes, because maybe he started a business at the age of 27. So at the age of 28, the business is not really established. This person wants to get married. So you would have to stop to find some government work doing. But when somebody is at the age of 15, the person has nothing upon his shoulders.
They have all the time
to build
from
Exactly, because I know a whole lot of people outside Africa that are making it seriously. But when you come to Africa, you need to be about 35 to 40 years before we get to know certain things are normal.
Right. And that one brings us to where we should. If you really want to build value, you want to build yourself to that standard where you see you and you say, oh, so I see, then you should have a different mindset from what society has presented to us. You see yourself as different from.
Sure.
So that's where I would say you should build a personal brand for yourself. Growing up, you have seen that. See, now you maybe
Okay.
like you have created that system. Say, wake up in the morning, go to school, go, graduate, get a job, 9 to 5, get good grades, get a good job, then you are being paid and you make more money and all that. But then in the long run, you see that you are stuck in that rat race.
Exactly.
With a whole lot of debts on you.
Pressure.
Yeah, so that's when you try to build a personal plan for yourself, when that personal plan pushes you to, let's say, confidence in yourself, you have a different mindset from what everyone has. Because in a community in Ghana, we mistake timidity for humility.
Yeah, sure. Okay, sure. Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
So, is a way to me out of confidence.
When it not
Yes, as to me coming out of his own comfort zone to feel that person's arrogant.
sure.
But then when they try to push you, you always want to see you with your hands behind your back for it. Is that you come to them.
Like where do you? Oh yeah. So that's been the very
So that's you should have to also put that you should put that personal plan for yourselves.
Okay.
Where you should be able to, let's say, put people on time, we should feel your presence where you are coming from. That's your outlook, your appearance, how you speak and talk. So that's a factor. And also in the right now, digital world.
Yeah.
Your physical appearance will not speak for you.
Yeah.
So let me see your digital self now. So add up to what you're doing. So a value you are always at yourself. You know, there are these apps or apps like LinkedIn. You see, LinkedIn is quite professional.
Yeah, very professional. Yeah.
If you want to do that standard business profile for yourself, if you log on to LinkedIn and you put yourself out there, you're good to go. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, X, those content creators you can just put something out there for us to see what you are doing, music, sports, and everything.
And I think that bring that back to like building a network for yourself. You know, when you build that personal brand of yourself, you have to meet a certain kind of people that will align with and your brand, what you are doing. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
If what you're doing, those you are working with are not people who are
There's no and
what you are doing.
bro.
I always say this: if you join 5 black hats,
You read the sip was that's right.
and if you join 5 businessmen, or let me say, purpose people with purpose,
Even the way we think will start to change.
That's right. That's right. So all this boils down to the best 5 people around you determines who you become in life.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Right. The best 5 people around you.
I would say 3.
Okay. And that too is right.
Because you see, when Jesus was with his disciples, he had these 3. One of them called mountains is and one like before he had that 12, before he also had that 72.
So what you're trying to say is that if that three didn't help him in like achieving what he came to this like yeah. So yes, you can't now again for what I say.
That's after they understand your ministry and understand your purpose.
Yes.
Even if they also have gears that they achieve, but only now your thoughts align. You're gonna cook.
They have a common goal.
You don't have this positive influence on you what you are doing.
Okay.
About that.
That's actually my first rule. So once I used to tell my what J next guy was saying about Kuba, I said we'll get a chiako. Can't say no, because they be uncle if you don't call some pano. Yeah, let's say if like someone is coming into your cycle, na solution, I say actually for just
Yeah. So one of the best things we have to be very, very skeptical about is what we are supposed to do. That is the skill.
Yeah, sure.
Right. Yeah. So you should have something you're aiming at.
Yeah, sure.
If you want to be wealthy, you can't work with some people that don't have that mindset.
Yeah, sure.
Like, you understand what I'm trying to say?
Sure.
Yes, and any business you're going to involve yourself in will determine how wealthy or rich you can become.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say, because when you go into restaurants, there's a certain level of wealth you can attain.
Yeah.
Like a hookah restaurant.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. So there is a certain level of wealth this franchise is going to make. And when you go into different businesses as transport business, real estate, forex trading, and blogging, Ghana boy, as we know, Ghana boy has been. We name him at a point. He's going to be a top notch, but he should get to understand that until he interviews certain great people.
Yeah, I was
kind of $1 billion.
Yes.
I think you understand what I'm doing.
And even when you start doing that, like the certain clientele that you build will even determine like how you are going to charge or like the money you are going to earn.
Yes. Yeah. So if you go into any business, just get to understand that the skill that you are going to learn will determine how wealthy you are going to be.
So talking about skill, I think we should delve deep into the skills you actually need to make that move. Because I read this book, The Richest Man in Babylon.
Okay.
Before you are going to enter in any business,
Okay.
you should know what the business entails.
Yeah, you should understand the business. Yeah, sure.
If you don't, the business will fail.
Yeah, sure.
That's right.
But you have people who are like, oh, photography is you get to do this, we share. But then, what's saying I know for you, they don't actually get to learn the skill set from aside from taking the pictures, grammar, that's interpersonal skills we have reliant. That skills where you can check the brand you go to. Because in our last episodes on this podcast, I think we talked about the skills, getting skills, and
Yeah.
So some skills me I would emphasize everyone to look out for. Let's say in this modern deep where I feel it has
Digital marketing, don't you really not
in
invest?
content creation, this photography and videography, those are gonna help me. Affiliate marketing or so they're gonna help me. And as you move on to, you also have to learn this soft skills,
Right.
application skills, critical thinking skills, all those things to how that's what you're doing.
Yeah, so like getting to understand what Ghana Boy is trying to say, we should put this in mind that it will take you quite some time
Yeah.
Right.
to become good at the skill.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because there are a lot of people, let's say some people will get into forest trading,
Mhm.
and because they've seen Forest buy a Lamborghini,
Yeah.
they want to buy some in the next 6 months.
See you say
You know what Charlie?
Well, selling.
I pick it.
Yeah.
they want to be seen as
The boss scene like well years. Nah, fuck.
Right.
But it takes quite some time. At least I've gotten to know that you need not less than 600 days
Mhm.
to become good at something.
Yeah.
If you want to become consistently doing something, it takes you 90 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
But to become quite perfect,
Yeah.
that's right, it will take you not less than 600 days. So a minimum of about 2 years.
Yeah. 2 years.
If you go into braiding of hair, sometimes we get to know these kind of people like this lady, I've forgotten her name.
Amabelan. Oh, no, Amabelan is not.
No. Is it Sewame?
Sure.
You know, she's not getting a lot of deals.
Yeah, sure.
And people think she just started.
no.
Mhm. Yeah.
She's been in the system for quite some time now. Nana Mama Brown has been in
No,
the system for quite some time now.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Time.
if you're going to start any business, if you're going to start any skill, you're going to acquire anything, you should give yourself some time.
Right.
Give yourself space to learn before you earn.
Mm.
Don't just
I like
go
that.
into any business.
You can go with that.
Give yourself some space to learn before you earn.
Sure.
Yes. So you can't just go into any business trying to make money
Mhm.
without understanding how the business itself
Mm.
works out.
Yeah, sure.
Because there are a lot of people I've come to realize. I've been into this phone business for
Mm.
about half a decade now,
Yeah.
and I understand whatever it takes to be into
Yeah.
the real tailoring of
Yeah.
iPhones.
Yeah, sure.
So anybody that comes into the business,
Mm.
let's say in the next 2-3 months, and wants to
First skill. Yeah.
yes, and wants to like
Yeah.
make some huge amount of money, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
You need to follow the process.
Yeah.
You need to stay in line with the process. And as things goes up, I think they are going to work.
Mm. And I
Wow.
think one thing like we the youth, we don't take into consideration is we always want get rich fast scheme. You understand?
Okay.
Because you have to understand delayed gratification. That's when you get the time to make all the mistakes that you want. As you said, it takes you 2 years to be perfect at something.
Yes.
Yeah, it takes you 2 years because you can't just enter the phone business and 3 months you want to be like, nah.
So still actually time ourselves, that's it.
Yeah, sure.
Jeff, some of what's there.
Yeah, and
I pick him will be a fat.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was saying.
yeah, I had a client like which I built a borehole for not personally yet that is doing so tough. You're like there be not personally told so and I'm say they be I ain't not so tough. Say I'm like oh what but you know for you know say yeah. We say we're too soon they say or supplement if you like don't mean because one what machine you know when you say in so elko. But tell you what it takes in processing like the word algram. Yeah. Customers, you didn't do none of. Yeah, you understand. I don't mean the same.
Talking about learning, the next thing I would like to emphasize on is being consistent, and
Discipline. You know.
there's this thing, man. No matter how you don't have to be perfect at what you're doing. That is not there's nothing absolute.
Okay. Very so.
Because the creator of all things, we see we
So when
your body then he doesn't realize guys he has to add the woman.
yes. So yes.
Do you understand that there's nothing absolute?
Then that's great.
So there has to be that consistency. You just have to start. But before you start, as you said, you need to learn.
That's good.
So once you are, so, as I'm saying, you have to be consistent in what you're doing.
Okay.
Once you're doing it, you're also learning. Because you have to take a step back, rewind, reset, and refocus. So because no matter how consistent you are, if you are doing the wrong thing, you do it.
Yeah.
As you do it, you pause.
Okay. You learn from the
You learn from what you have done. You evaluate. As I say, you do say, hard and listen. Then you add this sense of discipline to it. Even when motivation fades, you still have to get up.
That's right. But you know one thing, like I always take discipline over motivation.
Right.
Yeah. Because when you are trying to hit the gym, let's say you have like you give yourself 3 months to build your body, you have that motivation that you have to build your body. But you take discipline to wake up in the morning, you understand? Right. Yeah, because when you have that motivation to build your body, but when you are not disciplined enough, yeah. Ubet must set alarm 5:30 must and 1 star since it's very true. Very true.
Your demand has acquired a giant.
Yeah, actually. But going to the gym, when you start, I think for the first month, you're going to feel some pains. For the first month, sure. The first month, easy because of the pain physical body. Now after the first month, now pain everybody. You get to realize, you are still the same person. Now, being the same person, that is where the transformation happens. Sure. Listen, so most of the times, I've come to realize this. Sometimes, so what started put it in mind that you wouldn't feel that fire that you started with. No. Right? Very quick. Now, and your mind slow bit. But the best way to really do something and do it well is to get yourself a mentor. This is the first thing that I think we have to take very serious. Getting yourself a mentor. It is one of the most important things you don't have to play with at all, because one of the things that would really help you, even the Bible even says there is nothing new under the sun. So whatever you want to do, someone has already done it. So don't something like forest trading. If you go into forest without learning or getting the right teaching from a mentor, it will cost you more than you can think of. Yeah. I've been there before, so I know what I'm talking about. So, right. I've been into a whole lot of businesses or bull accounts. Oh, Charlie. Put him sky. But when you get to realize that you need somebody to teach you. Now, we are in a dispensation that learning everything is very easy because of the internet. Yeah. Yes, because in the old days, I was listening to a certain guy in a certain business, and he said he really tried for about 10 years before he became good. But all the people he has taught, it took them just less than 2 years to become good at that field. You know why? Because that person, that their mentor, it took him 10 years to make all the mistakes and correct them. That's right. So one advantage of taking a mentor is that you skill the KSS, you understand, right? You skip all the series and you just go straight into profitability. Yes. So if you don't get to, sometimes one of the things that we find so difficult to do as Ghanaians, what I've come to realize is this. Yes, as young people, we always want to make it down to learn. Yeah, sure. Right? And paying something to learn is much more expensive to us. If you have to pay $500 to learn, let's say, and give me any skill. Photography. Yeah. Maybe if you have to pay $500 to learn from the best photographer you've ever met, you would think it is difficult. You would think it is quite expensive. But you start your own and see how you're going to grow. You will spend more than that. You will spend more than that. Sure.
you'll be going for programs and they wouldn't even pay you, and you come and you wouldn't even know.
But do you know one advantage about getting that mentor? You know, in the course of training, you get to meet like new customers. Yeah. So and some people be like, we are credited the most on the video or yeah. Into the words of honor, you start to building your clients or your customers from there.
A good mentor will preach you.
Then
With this mentorship, me, I don't have a set money. Yeah. This whole blogging thing is all gonna be it. Started from someone. My own man. Step with you. I will always upload him for what he has done for me, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't know how I could do it. Like, in him, that I didn't even know what blogging was, but he just called me up. If you learn this thing, it's a new skill. If you learn this thing, it's going to help you. He just guided you through it, and so now he's still guiding you. Well, creating is still so you're doing it yourself. Your mentor is also doing it with you. Not just
Yeah. Think to be an okay. That's right. That's right. So even after having the mentor, that is where the discipline comes. And right from the discipline, resilience comes as well. Because most of the times I've gotten to realize that there are a lot of people that they get the right mentors, they are very disciplined. But when they fall, it is very hard for them to rise up again. But one thing you have to understand is this. Failure is part of the winning process. It is not the opposite side of it.
most people are even afraid to fail. So
Yes, that's good. And in our education system, that is the problem we have. We've gotten to know that in our classrooms, you shouldn't write an exam and fail. Because so when you are doing it, when you good, so when you are doing anything and you fail, you think you are a loser.
yeah, sure.
But we have to understand that failing is part of the winning process.
Sure.
And also partnership is also part.
Yeah.
In our classrooms, how can you go to your friend and say, "Okay, try them so I'm a copy there."
Who you can you want
You watch it.
I don't know if I say or do defense.
If this, but if you really get to listen to Napoleon Hills, Jim Rohn, and Martin Luther, and all these great people, they'll let you understand that partnership is the best way to go.
Then but brother too is a good miracle.
No, yeah. The partnership we're talking about, you have to connect yourself to the right clothes. You have to create yourself.
Not these that are going to drain you.
Ni partner I don't want no. You announce that the woman before you realize now woman
Not the other before for crowd. Do I better again? Do you understand? Sometimes any panel, you know, you have this one particular friend thing, like when you say, oh, but the kind of people that friend can connect you with.
right.
Yeah, you understand?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, you may connect it to a few bills. Yeah, you understand. Yeah, like we're doing something, right? It shouldn't even be all about money.
They
Connects us.
to that connect.
Oh, when you're medicine, I want to eat. Listen. Yeah. So for me, this is gonna be my last words for like building yourself. So to everyone watching us, you are talking about adding value to your life as a young. So young kids and young beings out there. One thing you should always do: set goals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
With timelines.
Yeah.
Follow it with the discipline. Yeah. Because if you have set goals for yourself, like, oh, in this time from January to December, with the work I'm doing, I have to miss this target. I have to do this. I have to do this. As time goes on, you just be evaluating yourself.
Okay.
Have I been able to eat there? Assess yourself. What have I gone wrong? Have I fallen down? Let me rise up and keep back again. Because as you said, you have to be resilient. With the YouTube I'm doing now, you can post the video, you edit, you put in the logo, you share, you advertise.
Where you
You go and you use it for people.
With this,
But then you still have to get asked the money. Sit down, tell us whatever. Because with time, you just set the goals for yourself.
That's right.
and you know one
Act with discipline, and you just
say it's not just epic, you know, the kind of people that we watching your video will go back to like your past. Yeah. And
You know something? Recently, people were posting videos of Black Sharif and his friends.
those times are now born be
Mr. Say. Even currently, me who Benna boy. Benna boy a video. Charlie got it, got him. I hope you.
We're short.
Okay, good. I don't know how we stage you. Let's say I pick you. Really? I pick you. We're doing recently. She had a certain contract at I think Doha, for about $1 million for just 30 minutes. And he said he's not going because they won't allow him to smoke on the stage. $1 million.
Really? Because he's making way more than I already.
Centered on the body that I did.
So, that's right. That's right. And he's doing that thing right. Right. Adding the value doesn't mean say, oh yeah, a DB and no quals was it. You are trying to do things in your own way and you want things to be right. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You need to do things right. What people are going to appreciate.
Yeah.
Now, when you watch this brand, Coca-Cola, right? They have this kind of motto that they use that anyone that buys this Coca-Cola is going to enjoy happiness, going to enjoy for the rest of his life. So if you watch their adverts, normally you see people getting happy, jumping, and that's, and even if you watch MTN, they have this kind of motto that they have that everywhere you go, they've putting themselves on a certain scale that all across Ghana, they are taking control. The kind of value, the kind of bundle systems they have. Now they have warned the people in this kind of nation. So you can't go, that's right, yeah, sure. You can't go past them. You can't go past them. So this value that we are trying to speak about, I would want to end this with this. It has gotten to a time in Ghana that we have to be serious. Do you know something? If as young people, if I'm to be an African again, I would wish to be a Nigerian. Seriously, because they support this. So there was side, even if not that, aside the support, Nigerians are serious. Yes. If a Nigerian is making it in a certain industry, it is massive. Yeah. When it comes to the blogging space, when it comes to sports, when it comes to the music industry, whatsoever, the Nigerians do it extremely well. But in Ghana here, when someone does something like, and he gets this kind of applause, no one relax it. Yeah. Look at the age of 60, or say come this part, he's still buying the Bugatti. Yeah. 60 years. He's now trying to raise a standard for the youth.
Yes. And this, some families, young.
Yes. At age of 60, 60 years. I think Warren Buffett just retired. He's about 74 years or something. He owns about 400 million. Is it 400 million or $400 billion of shares in the Coca-Cola company? Look at his age. It is only in Ghana that when a youth is making money, it is a problem. When an adult too goes beyond 60 and is making money, we will tell that person, say, "Charlie, when you look crowd, why you be a giant? Why you be a giant? So you should put ourselves in a space that we are going to we're going to be productive. We're going to make it. That's right.
Okay, so I would like to add this one too. For that personal branding that is there, the internet never forgets, and you have to be very intentional about the things that you put out there. Let's say Kweso, the one thing I like about Kweso so much is, he has been always advising Scanty that Charlie, don't make that mistake, because he had the opportunity to redeem himself. What you say was when you had the opportunity, media. And as we live right now, we know a lot of people are they came into the spotlight, but they are nowhere to be found right now because of what the internet brought from their past. You understand? And one thing that I would like to leave our audience with is in this life, anything that you set your mind on, and you can achieve it, regardless. And there are going to be roller coasters in the life, and you have to be very determined to achieve whatever you want, and with God, everything is possible.
Though we learned this program at the university. value chain.
Yeah, value.
Yes, and it talks about the value which is added to the product at every stage to reaches the consumer.
Yeah.
So when the consumer even receives it, he or she appreciates what's before him. So however, I think we as humans should add value to ourselves. I'll be honest. So you don't get them place out there. And do what works for you. But then whatever that works for you, add value to it. So that in the long run, I want me achieve whatever you want to achieve. Nobody wants to work for everybody. Nobody Nobody wants to work with somebody else. Even those only be but or add value to himself. It helps even to approach people too.
Sure. The work of crowdfunding. Now, then why are okay? You understand?
So I think that's it for now. We are bringing this conversation to an end. Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel. You recommend, share your thoughts with us on what you think. Others can add value to himself on. Peace out.